Welcome everybody to SLC Punk Presents Live and Wired, the series where we talk about the shows that we have attended or are planning to attend or are just simply announcing that they are happening. And this last week, I went to not one, not two, but 3 separate live events. And they were concerts. Anyway, I went to 3 of them, the first of which was seeing Pushing Up Daisies and Suffocator at the Fellowship Hall, the Sober Hall, alongside Run Into the Sun, Sunshut, and Sutures. Now, Sutures, that was my first time seeing them. I hadn't heard them prior to this, so this was a new experience for me, and those guys were really good musicians, really just in the pocket, just straight metalcore, and it felt, they felt so fucking tight. That's what it felt like. They just knew what they were doing. And then Sunshut goes on, and they get about 2 songs into their set, and I'm just standing in the back of the pit, just sort of like, this is awesome. And then I see a bunch of people move to one side of the pit, and I'm thinking, oh, somebody must have fell down. And then I see more people, and then more. I'm thinking, oh my God, something fucking happened. And then eventually the band stops playing, and then everybody's gathering around, and then everyone's going, give her space, give her space. And then I look down, and there's this girl down there just convulsing, spazzing out. So a girl just had a seizure in the middle of this fucking show. And everyone's standing around like, oh, fuck. But thankfully, the 2 of the guys in Pushing Up Daisies are ER doctors. So we already had doctors on site, which was really helpful. And they called it, so they made sure that all of her cognitive skills were in order, because when someone has a seizure, I can speak from experience, you give them about 10 minutes when they are done convulsing, when they're done seizing up, and if they can recognize their name, if they can recognize the people around them, and if they are able to remember their name and everything like that, then there is not a significant cause for alarm. But they did call the paramedics, and this girl was taken out on a stretcher. It took all about maybe 20-25 minutes until it was all over. And then before Sunshut continued with their set, Mike from Pushing Up Daisies got up on the stage and just made the announcement, hey, everybody, so yes, this girl, she had a seizure, but she is all right. She is responsive. She's been taken to the hospital, and everything's okay. So that was nice. And then Sunshut, they couldn't exactly play the rest of their set. They only were able to fit in one more song. So they at least got a few songs in, which kind of a bummer because Sunshut is a pretty awesome band. But that's okay because I was really, really excited to see Suffocator play to all these young hardcore kids. And they did very well. It was awesome seeing Suffocator doing an all ages show because they've only ever seen them play in the bar. Yeah, most of the times. The only time I've seen them play one other live show that was all ages that I was in attendance was their first one, when they played their very first show at the Beehive, and I was playing with them. Well, I wasn't in the band, but Anonymous was sharing the bill with them, along with Social Stigma. We were all opening up for 200 stab wounds. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome trivial facts. Anyway, Suffocator did very well, and their bassist came up to me beforehand and says, please don't eat a sandwich while you're watching us. I said, okay. Because the last time I saw them play, it was their sort of reunion show. I mean, they were never really broken up, but they had been inactive for a while because they were looking for a drummer, and their original drummer came back. And it was at that show. I was standing on the side of the stage and I was eating a grilled cheese sandwich and just rocking out like, yeah. And I had my friend record me doing that because I just thought it was a funny image. Just rocking out to a band while eating a sandwich. And their bassist just was like, that is so goofy. And so this time, at the Fellowship Hall, there is a food stand built into the building. And I bought a donut from them. And as soon as Suffocator starts playing, I just pull out the donut from my pocket and just start eating it like, yeah, buddy. And then after the set, I go up to Oz, the bassist, and just am like, so, did you see me? Yeah, I saw you. At least it wasn't a sandwich this time. It was like, yeah, whatever. I can't wait to be playing with you on the 12th. The what? The April 12th. We're playing with you guys at your house. We are? What the fuck? Apparently Suffocator was booked at my house, the Poser Palace, with Hi-Fi Murder, and apparently Apathetics are playing. I'm thinking, I did not agree to this. And then I checked the schedule on my phone, the Google Docs that we have, and I saw, okay, yeah, there is a show for April 12th. It's for this kid Vin's birthday, but we are not on there. In fact, no bands are on there. What the fuck? So Josh showed me the message he was doing with my friend Jack from SCS Productions, who is in charge of booking all of these bands, and say like, oh, okay, yeah. So I guess you guys are playing on the 12th. Well, shit, man. Cool. I'll see what I can do about getting Apathetics on that bill. So it's very possible that I may be playing again on April 12th. I mean, we're already playing a show on April 26th, but that has yet to be announced. Anyway, that's a bit of a sidebar. So Suffocator did an awesome set. Awesome fucking show. They sounded so good. And yeah, then Run Into the Sun. Man, they had the biggest crowd reaction, all the crowd participation points when they were singing the song 400 South. That was the biggest pileup of that entire show. And why shouldn't it be? That is a great sing-along. I mean, Run Into the Sun has a lot of great songs. We played them on the podcast multiple times, and Dan, always a stand-up guy. Every time he's introducing me to new people, he's saying he runs a podcast, the SLC Punkcast. Check him out. I say, Dan, I gotta get you on the podcast. Not just because of Run Into the Sun being an awesome band, but because you can talk my ear off about all the shit that's going on in punk rock and hardcore. You have such a vast knowledge and such a wide experience of just being in the scene and just everything that you've done. So Dan, yeah, we got to have you on the show. And he wants to. He would be honored to be on here, he says. But right now we're just kind of up to our neck in a lot of other responsibilities and other bands that have reached out to us to be interviewed. But that you can learn all about that on SLC Punkcast. For Live and Wired, we're talking about shows. Okay, and then the closing set of that night, Pushing Up Daisies. That was my third time seeing them. Second time seeing them there. And they are just as good live as they are on the album. No, they're not. They're fucking better, man. They are such a good live act, and it's just awesome seeing them just go nutty on stage with everything they got going on. Like, they have the little sample pad that the drummer is always hitting. Their guitarist Mike is just hitting all these pedals and all these buttons to make his guitar sound in so many different ways. He's got an array of sounds, that man. And why shouldn't they? You have a song that's almost 10 minutes long. You really gotta use what you have to your advantage. And Pushing Up Daisies, I asked him, when do you think you'll be playing again? He says, we don't know. We're actually kind of busy writing new music. I go, okay, all right. You're going to call it Gunslinger Part 2? He laughed at that. He had a good laugh at that. So anyway, that was a great show. One that I didn't think I was going to make because I was tired. I really hate the state of being right now. Anyway, it was an awesome show. And then the next show that I attended was the one that happened at my house. It was a birthday party show for my friend Will. the bassist of the Adjusters, who played. And I didn't see all of that show. I missed the first 3 bands, being Power Beer and the Adjusters and Fancy Lads. I missed all of their sets. I feel bad. I feel bad for doing that, but it's also a party. And there's a lot of people in that house that I'm mingling with and saying hi to, and then drinking so many beers and eating the cake and all of that fun shit, and you tend to lose track of where you're at. I did manage to catch the closing band, Outlaw Stiffs. They were the last band to play, our friends from Idaho. It was a great set. They had a great set. And the funny thing is, we have a mascot of the Poser Palace. Well, not really a mascot, but it's just always there. It's a dildo. It's a dildo with those suction cups that you stick to the wall. And I had it stuck on the garage motor in the garage, so it was just shooting straight down at people. And somebody pulled it off and then just started like going around with it in the pit until eventually she just took the dildo and stuck it on the body of the guitar on the guy in Outlaw Stiffs. It was hilarious. So he's just playing his guitar with his dick sticking out of the body. That dildo gets around, yo. I don't know if it's actually been used, but it's just funny to have, as it's, again, the sort of mascot that we can't put on Facebook or Instagram lest we get the post taken down. Yeah, well, what can you do? Yeah. So the show was great. The party, goddamn, partying with the punks and the skins and everything. The party's over when they say it's over. I had to go down to my room multiple times. My back was hurting so bad, and I just sort of had to recalibrate. Like, okay, all right, let's go back up again. And there were some friends that I invited who showed up for all of maybe 20 minutes, and I didn't get to say hello to them, or I said hello and that was it. And one of them I said, hey, I'm really sorry I saw that you were there, but you know how parties get, you just get pulled 5 different ways all at once. It's crazy. But she was very understanding of it. Anyway, it was a fun night. It went way until 4 a.m. I remember John was telling me, when should we start telling these guys to wind it down? It's getting really late. And I told him, John, you never partied with punks before, have you? You haven't. Oh boy. Just stick it out, man. Oh yeah, it was a fun time. It was great partying with all the punks. And that's kind of the downside of having a party at your house, because when it's your house, because if you're partying at someone else's house, if you're feeling tired or burned out or whatever, you can leave. You can leave anytime you want. But if you're the host, if you're entertaining the party, then, oh shit, I want to go to bed, but I don't know what these guys are up to. Sometimes you just have people sleep where they fall. But it was a great time. It was a great time. No drama, no other crazy bullshit. Except my pong table got broken. It did. We had a beer pong table, but we were using it as a merch table. And it was in the living room, and everybody's drinking and dancing. And Dally from Adjusters, he lost his balance, and then he fell on the table. And it just went indented like that. So that kind of sucked. And, I mean, that's an accident. Shit happens. But then my other friend, Walter, just decides to go, and then, and she is pint-sized. She is thin as a fucking rail, this lady. But she decided that she just wanted to keep going on top of that. And then somebody managed to fucking pull her off and set her straight. I'm like, oh my God. I get it. You're drunk. You're making stupid decisions. But don't break my fucking table. It's not even mine. It's my friend's table. She just hasn't had much use for it. So I just been holding on to it for her for the last 3 years. So, yeah. But John said that he could possibly fix that. And I said, I hope you do. I hope you can. Otherwise, I'm going to have to replace a table. Or I'm going to get fucking Walter to replace it. You motherfucker. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, that was show number 2. Show number 3 that I went to was a benefit show that was at Aces High on Wednesday called Punks for Palestine. That was a benefit show to raise, Jesus Christ, to raise funds for the, God, what was it? The Islam U.S. Affairs, something like that. I couldn't get the name. I could never get the fucking name right. Just know that it was going for the aid of Palestinians overseas. That's what it was being used for, and they raised over $1,000 for it. Now, who is they? It was DTA, Filth Lords, and All Systems Fail. Every single one of them played a fucking great set. Now, DTA, I arrived pretty late. I only managed to catch the last 3 songs of their set, but those 3 songs, they played fucking solid. So great. And Filth Lords, I am so happy every time to see those guys. They did a cover of Unity by Op Ivy and covered American Jesus by Bad Religion. And then they played pretty much all the heavy songs they have on their album. And it's just wild watching them just go fucking crazy on their instruments. Alex, he's just such a great guitarist. And yeah, Filth Lords, I told him that we got to have you guys on the show. So they may be in the running. I mean, they are in the running to be interviewed on the SLC Punkcast. Would love to talk to those guys. Love to pick their brains and talk about how they created the sound of Filth Lords. A very unique sound, really. I told them it's like the Unseen meets Fugazi. And they are in agreement with that. Yeah, so DTA was a good one. Filth Lords a good one. All Systems Fail. Jesus Christ, I've been seeing them since 2012. One of the first local bands that I saw live. I saw them play in a floor show at the Underground, which was a chop shop garage. And yeah, I've been hooked ever since. They always fucking kill it. Always, always, always. I love them. Even as a 4-piece, they are still fucking great. They used to be now they're a 5-piece. They used to be a 6-piece because they had 2 guitarists, 2 vocalists, a bassist, and a drummer. But now they just have one guitarist. One guitarist. And I told them that even with the way that they always perform, you would never guess that they are a band that has been doing this shit for over 20 years. They still have that energy that is just unmatched by any other band of their age. They just fucking kill it. All Systems Fail. What a great show that was. And in the middle of the week, too. It was on a Wednesday night, man. Wednesday night. Who's coming out to shows? Well, a lot of people, especially for a good cause. Anyway, those were all the shows that I attended. It was a very busy week for me, I tell you. Very busy week, which is why I wasn't here in person last week. Well, among others, but if you want more information on that, then go listen to the fucking show, dude. Anyway, for the shows that are coming up, they are as follows. March 1st, Harbor, Grace and Silence, Remains of a Martyr, and Desponia will be playing up at Black Lung Society. That is $12. Going to be starting at 7 p.m. On the 3rd, the contemporary death metal giants Creeping Death will be coming to Salt Lake with Green Witch, and they'll be playing with our 2 death metal heavy hitters of Salt Lake City, Recidivist and Sacrilegion. That's going to be a brutal fucking show, folks. Anyway, they'll be playing at the Fellowship Sober Hall, going to be $20, starts at 7 p.m. Then on the 5th, Chat Pile, Gouge Away, and Nitosphere will be playing at the Urban Lounge. That is $35, going to be starting at 7 p.m., but it's a bar show, so you can expect it to start roughly around 8. It's only 3 bands, so yeah. You can show up a little late. No one's going to hurt you. On the 6th, Reverend Horton Heat is making his triumphant return to Salt Lake City. He used to play here like 3 times every year back in like the 2010s. We cannot keep him out of the city. But anyway, he's coming back with Pinata Protest and Black Joe Lewis. That'll be at the Metro. It's going to be a staggering $42. $42 all in. Oh, boy. But it's the Reverend. You got to pay your tithing. It's going to be starting at 7 p.m. Anyway, on the 7th, Backhand, Hurtado, and Windstock and Infinite Coachella. Who wants that to last forever? Sometimes it feels like sometimes it does feel like it lasts forever. Not that I've ever been. But anyway, they're going to all be playing at the Fellowship Hall at 7 p.m. It's $10 to enter. Then on the 8th, Snuff Tape, Spent, Infernium, and Absolved and Save Agony be playing up at the Black Lung Society. That is $12, starts at 7 p.m. Meanwhile, at Ace's High Saloon, Harvest of Ash is going to have their album release show, and they're going to be joined by Glossa and Holdra. That is $10, going to be at 8 p.m. So those are all the shows that are coming up in the next week. Very, very, very busy week. I'll do my best to attend one of these shows. I'm going to try and make it to the Creeping Death one because, yeah, it's death metal. It's death metal. What more do you want, suckers? Anyway, thank you for joining us on this episode of Live and Wired. Those were my tales from the pit, or actually my notes from the pit. Okay. That's what I'm going to... When I'm talking about the shows that I have attended, I'm just going to call that little segment Notes from the Pit, or Tales from the Pit. I think that'll be fun. I'll run with that title, see how it goes. But anyway, that's all I got for Live and Wired. Those were my Tales from the Pit. Dustin, I'm going to hand it off to you.
Thank you, Eric. And now we go around the world as per usual. No particular order. We're going to bounce around shows around for the next couple weeks. This weekend, we've got the Restarts and the Babes in Colombia. Today, the 28th, they'll be in Bogota, Medellin on the 1st, and on March 2nd, Manizales. So go check them out there. 2 London bands on tour there in Colombia. As you can tell on the flyer, they just did Mexico last weekend. Then we've got Knife's Edge. They're doing a show tonight, and it will be the Knife's Edge coming in from Phoenix, heading to Pomona at Characters. They'll be with Los Brigands and the Gimps, so go check them out. It's 21 and older. Head over to Characters, only $10. Next, we've got the Party in the Poly Tunnel, Saturday, March 1st. This, I believe, is I want to say it's in Scotland, in Dundee, if I'm not mistaken, but there's the address, Styx Glenrothes, and you can tell the rest. Doors are at 1, starts early. It's 15 pounds, but look at all the bands you get to see. Broken Three Ways, Aftershocks, Murder of Crows, No Agenda, Polar Bears and Purgatory, Smoky Reaper, Razortooth, Trumpton Riot, TXBX, DX, and Tripwire DC. 12 and under are free because all ages are welcome. So bring them young ones out so they can go check out all those cool bands too. Start them young. Today, the 28th, you can go see in Tucson, Arizona, Agent Orange, TV Tragedy, The Besmirchers, and Bleach Party USA. It's 7 p.m. 21 and older, $20 in advance, $25 the day of show. So if you don't have your tickets yet, head to The Rock. You're going to spend $25, but you're still going to see 4 cool bands. Then our pals in Dude Smell, today, the 28th. That's coming up quick for them. It's in Kingston at the Fighting Cocks. They'll be with Nihilistic Biscuits, Rudimentary Paste, and Bat Flattery. Doors are at 7:30. Tickets are $5 in advance. If you waited till today, it's $7, but still worth it. Go check out those cool bands. Then today as well, at Toots Tavern in Crockett, California, go see United Defiance, Punch Card, who just released a new album. Gorilla Cookies, not biscuits, but Gorilla Cookies. Go check out those 3 bands. It's 8 p.m., 21 and older, and only $10. Gotta love the punk shows, love the punk flyers, and love the punk shows. Next up, we've got the Skinflicks. Saw some pictures that they were on their way to Essen. Head over to the Don't Panic, and they'll be with One Voice. Number 1 and number 6 from my favorite albums of 2024 right there playing. I would love to be there. So if you have the opportunity, you better get yourself there. That's today, the 28th. It's at 7 o'clock. Not too far off from when this gets posted. So make sure you go. And if you go, tell me how awesome it was. Flatfoot 56 Catch 22, the copyrights, and Manya are playing on March 8th at Reggie's in Chicago. You know, it's that time of year. The Celtic punk bands coming out for St. Paddy's Day the next few weeks will definitely be any flyers I see. I'll be posting here. So catch those shows if you can, because those don't come around all throughout the year. A lot of those bands will play, but not in the way that it's going to be for this seasonal time. Anyway, next up, March 1st at the Rose Den in Rockaway Park, New York. Go check out, Day Drinking with the Aerists, Depression Tropical, and Wakala. It's 2 p.m. It's matinee. Love the matinees. Big supporter of the matinees. And best of all, it's free. So bring some money, support the bands. Go check out the bands. Then we've got Rainville, which is one-man band Rainville record release with special guest Brothers Union Pissed. Just played those guys for the first time. Shout out to Ricky if you're listening. And then Brain Drain as well. This will be Friday, March 7th at Wild Air Beer Works, Asbury Park, New Jersey, 7 p.m. All ages, $15. And then you can go see, looks like on Friday, March 7th. They're both the same flyer, so never mind. That's the show. Next up, we've got a show, Shape for Battles, heading from the East Coast to the West Coast. They're already there in the West Coast doing shows. This show here, Shape for Battle, Bomber, Toledo Panic, is in San Luis Obispo. That's at Humdinger Brewery, Sunday, March 2nd. They're doing shows all over the weekend. We'll see if I've got some of those other flyers stashed here. But they're in California. Make sure you see Shape for Battle. They're fucking awesome, and they're playing with some killer California bands as well. That's an all-ages show, $15. Doors are at 4, show at 5. Love the matinees. Love them. Make sure you get out and support the matinees. Here we go. Here is a flyer for Saturday, March 1st. And again, starting early. Love it. Shape for Battle with Bomber, Knife's Edge coming in from Phoenix. They were the night before at Characters. Rally Cry and Trigger Damage, who also just released something new. And I believe Bomber just finished recording their stuff. Knife's Edge recorded something new. Rally Cry had something out last year. Shape for Battle, it was my number 7 favorite album of last year. It's fucking awesome, by the way. Got it displayed because the album cover's great. It's displayed here in the studio. That'll all be at Supply and Demand, Long Beach. Show starts at 1:30, another matinee, ending at 7. It's 21 and older, so go check out those bands. Next up, we've got Evil Conduct heading to Berlin. They'll be playing with the Warriors, Red London, Gatanslag, who I think has something new come out if it hasn't already. Skin Sex are fucking awesome, and I think they are working on something. And Collapse. That is a loaded lineup in Berlin. It is on March 1st. You can see there at the bottom, tickets so36.de, so go there and check it out. There's also a QR code. Might be hard to get the QR code here, but you can always head over to evil_conduct_official and get more of that. But, man, that is a killer lineup. Then we got Dicey Saturdays, free entry, 9 p.m. till late. This one is not a matinee. But this one is almost today by the time this is coming out, I'm sure. Just kidding. Top Novel, Rawest Tongue, Trashed Again, The Social Dead. 2 of my favorites from Down Under are playing on that one. Fucking great. Definitely should check out the other bands if they're playing with those bands. It's Dicey Riley's Hotel, and it's March 1st. Go check all of that out. Killer bands on that lineup. Then we've got Wednesday, March 5th, Conservative Military Image. They're out doing, are about to be out doing some touring, coming out west. They are going to be, this flyer here shows Conservative Military Image with special guests True Bearing, Face Facts, Isolate, Divide, and Nunya. And that's Nunya's first show. This is at the Club Car Bar. That's almost a tongue twister, at least for me. And that is in Templeton, California on March 5th. Doors at 6, show at 7, and you can pay $15 all ages at village_HC_shows on Instagram if you want more details. Then here in Salt Lake, you got a Punks and Punchlines. We had Antonio, who's going to be hosting. It's his deal. But we had him on SLC Punkcast for a bonus episode back, I think it was around November, maybe early December, and doing a show at Kamikaze's. So go out and support. They'll have, obviously, as they do, comedians there and also debasers playing, and that'll be up in Ogden on March 7th. It's $10, 21 and older. Show starts at 8. Then we've got our pals this weekend, and I believe this is March 1st. And this is, where is the fucking location? Oh, Don't Panic. It's in Essen. This one's on March 1st, and you get El Fish. You see the whole lineup there. City Saints, Barney Army, the headlines, and the Offenders. Really great. If you get there at 4, there's meet and greet available, and it's brought to us by Sunny Bastards. Love Sunny Bastards. And then finally, in 2 weeks, I'll be heading to L.A. for the L.A. Punk Invasion. First off, we've got the Thursday show, the kickoff show. I wish I would have known this was going to happen. I bought my tickets and hotel and everything in advance before I knew that this was going to happen to get there Friday morning. So I'm going to miss this, but if you're going to be there, you can go over to, looks like Street Billiards in Los Angeles, Thursday the 13th. You get to see the Erections, Hat Trickers, the Skeptics, Beton Army, Dick Spikey, Broken Cuffs, No Time, Mess, and Crux, all on a Thursday. Pre-sale tickets are at Eventbrite. Then there's the Friday show, which I believe is sold out. I'm pretty positive this is sold out, but we'll still throw it on here. It's at Characters in Pomona, gonzopresents.com if you want to check. But Lions Law, Rally Cry, 1983, 21 Gun Salute, Slugger, all performing on that one. And finally, come join me. I think there's tickets still available. Check out that flyer on Saturday the 15th. 2 venues, 4 stages. It's fucking bananas as far as the time slots. Man, there's so many bands that I'm going to watch. Like, they have 20-minute sets, and I'm going to have to 10 minutes on one and run to the next stage and check out 10 minutes the other just so I can see some of these bands. But you can see all of the bands on there. It'll take way too long. But, man, I'm really excited for a handful of them. New York Hounds, Mess, Belltones, 999. I want to see Knuckleheads because those guys look fucking awesome. Partisans, Major Accident, UK Subs, Total Chaos, Hat Trickers, Dead Boys, Beton Army, Stomper 98, Unseen, The Blood, No Time, Rotten Stitches, and so on and so on. I've talked so long, you can definitely see all the stuff on there, but you can also go to Nacho Corrupted on Instagram and any of the bands that you see there, I'm sure, and see all of the other details. That is going to wrap it up for this week. Thank you for tuning into Live and Wired, and we'll catch you next time.